Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Madjiguène Seck. I'm from Senegal, as you will see from my outfit. Very bright and yellow. We're happy to have you. I'm here really to represent the communications team. As you know, every PIU has a communications specialist. My work or my role today is really to tell you how we work together and why it's important to have the communications specialist fully embedded in the PIU so they can understand what you do, they can follow the day-to-day evolution on the project, and they can help you be a catalyst and amplify your voice. You've heard during the 3 days, Larry from Ghana talked about Ghana ASGM and what are the solution. Dr. Steven about what are the health impact. No matter what are the solution you find, if you don't simplify the message, like we'll say in French, simplifier le discours, people don't understand it. So what is our role? Our role is really to help you convert your findings into messages that are easy to grasp. If you have statistics, you have to rework on it. You have to simplify it so people know what it means. Our role is also to craft campaigns with narratives that are sensitive to culture, sensitive to the level of education, but also sensitive to the specific needs of the target audience. What women need in terms of messaging, what touches their heart, what touches their mind, is very different from the message you're going to use for a 3-4-year-old kid so that when he goes home, he can tell his mom or his dad, oh, this is what I saw in the cartoon, this is what you should do. Our third role is really to help you build trust in the community so that they can have faith in you, so that once the project ends, they are not only project beneficiaries, but they are active participants into the sustainability of this project. And the last point is that we help you get or ensure a feedback loop. What do people think? Mariam, with the radio, she makes sure that when people come and ask a question about the project, Colonel Ngom knows about it and can adjust during the course and also manage expectations. That's our role in this project. We arrived here 3 days before. Many PIU are asking, why do we need to be there so early? We use those 3 days to have a workshop specifically for communication specialists. What do we do there? We learn from each other what worked well. Maybe what worked well in Senegal is not what worked in Ghana. We exchange experience. We get trained in strategic communication. We all learn what is strategic communication. How do you use social media? What are the right hashtags? Why do you use Facebook in West Africa when in other parts LinkedIn worked better? And we also harmonize our activities. As you know, each country has a communication strategy. But to make sure that the work is harmonized, what we do, we have a communication plan, which is actually the operational aspect of the strategy. So to make sure that our action, our activities are aligned, we agreed to have the same communication plan with different activities, of course, and for each activity, it's up to the country to define how to best reach its audience, how to best touch their heart, how to best make them not only beneficiaries, but again, full participants to this project. We also talk about our common tools. The common tools are, as I was saying, social media content. We also have a newsletter that is going to be launched at the end of this month. We also have a website. All of you have contributed to the content of the website. Our good friend Patricia has really worked with our technical kind of contribution to the communications team. She has worked on crafting the website, on working with you to make sure that the content is as you want. So I will let her introduce and launch the website on which she has worked a real great lot. Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. I'm really honored this afternoon to launch this website. It's been, it's a product of several months of hard work by the team. And so I think we can already go into it. So let's get ready to see the website for the AEHPMP project in 10, 9, let's keep going. Okay. So you're all welcome to this website. 2, 1, and this is the AEHPMP website, which you can log on at africaenvironmentalhealth.org. And so the first page is our homepage, but just so you know that we have a French translation for every content in this website. So as you can see, and now to the homepage, like I mentioned, this homepage gives every content that is on this website. It gives like a flow of it. So the About Us, Spotlight on Action. So everything that is on this website is featured on the homepage, just so you know. Now moving on to the About Us, which talks a bit more about what this project is about, what we do, our various partners. And then we move on to the pollution section, which features the various pollution issues that we've been talking about all these few days that we've spent together. So we have ASGM, e-waste, and then we keep moving to mercury pollution, to UPOBs, and the various other issues that we've been talking about in these past few days. Solid waste management. So when you go into it, it gives more details on the various issues with the African context as the background. And now we can move on to the solutions section. And so we have the various solutions to these issues that we've identified. So when you log on to the page, we have the overview. So solutions to solid waste pollution. You can click on Learn More to know more. Solutions to UPOPs pollution from e-waste. And then we move to mercury pollution from ASGM, solutions to mercury pollution. And yeah, we are done with the solution part. And then just so you know that every country has a page on this website. So we feature content from each country. And so this is content that we received from the various countries. And now we move on to the resources, which has all the various knowledge products. So it comes from various organizations as well as various research papers. And now to our data dashboard, it shows figures and various data that is streamlined to the various key KPIs, key performance indicators of the various conventions. So Minamata, Stockholm, Basel Convention, and the UN SDGs. And now to our news and events, where events such as these are featured, and also latest news concerning the field that this project is focused on is also featured. And now we have our community of practice where various stakeholders like yourself can join or sign up to. And so you can sign up by emailing us at africaenvironmentalhealth@worldbank.org, and then you can be a member where we share knowledge, we talk about issues concerning these various pollution issues that AEHPMP is focused on. And I think I am done. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thanks, Patricia. It took a lot of work from Patricia and our colleague Heather, who's not here, to put the website together with all of your contribution. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Now I want to give you a flavor of the different work the communications team does. I will first call our host, Irene John, who is a communication manager at the ministry level, to come and give us an example of the work the Tanzania Comms team has been doing.
Mercury Project, a project to reduce the use of mercury by small-scale miners, known as the Environment, Health and Pollution Management Project, is one of the strategies to be executed under the International Minamata Agreement, of which Tanzania is.
Dear delegates from World Bank, delegates from other African countries implementing 2 projects, mercury and e-waste issues, my colleagues, communication experts, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. First and foremost, I would like to thank World Bank for organizing the 2 days training for communication officers to share experiences from one another and strengthening our skills with regard to communication plan. The knowledge we have acquired here will be very useful for raising public awareness and increase visibility with regards to mercury effect to small-scale gold miners as well as EST issues. Together with my colleagues from ministries and government departments in Tanzania, we will work as a team to implement our communication plan for further development of our country and Africa at large. I thank my colleague from Ghana, Kenya, Senegal, Zambia for sharing your communication experience that you are dealing in your respective countries as regard to e-waste and the mercury issues. Thank you all for coming. It is my hope you will visit Tanzania to enjoy our national parks, Mikumi and the Serengeti, Mountain Kilimanjaro, that is the highest mountain in Africa, and number 3 in the world. And here we have Lake Victoria, the largest lake in Africa, but number 3, if not number 2 in the world. And we have Zanzibar. So we thank God we have a lot of natural resources in our country. We have a small video clip showing different equipment sponsored by World Bank, sponsored to who? To Government Chemistry Laboratory Authority, Mining Commission, and National Environmental Management Council. For what? In order to support lab results concerning with the mercury effects. You are welcome to watch it. Karibu sana, asanteni sana.
Mercury Project. A project to reduce the use of mercury by small-scale miners, known as the Environment, Health and Pollution Management Project, is one of the strategies to be executed under the International Minamata Agreement, of which Tanzania is a signatory, to reduce mercury used by small-scale miners. In Africa, Tanzania has one of the highest numbers of small-scale miners who use mercury to extract gold, with dire consequences for human health and the environment. It causes nerve damage, resulting in diseases of the nervous system, among many. Also, it remains in the ecosystem for a long time. Therefore, the goal of the project is to reduce and possibly eradicate the use of mercury by small-scale miners. This is a 5-year project funded by the Global Environment Fund, supported by the World Bank. The project has targeted 7 regions in Tanzania with a high number of small-scale miners. These are Geita, Mwanza, Mara, Shinyanga, Singida, Mbeya, and Songwe. The project has undertaken many tasks, but the major one is strengthening of institutions which oversee and regulate the safe use of mercury in the extraction of gold. One of the key areas targeted in these institutions are the laboratories. This includes the Government Chemist Regulatory Authority, the National Environment Council NEMC, the Mining Commission, and the Geological Survey Tanzania. This is done by purchasing lab equipment used in providing accurate measurements and research, with the aim of helping small-scale miners shift from dangerous to safer gold extraction methods. Here we're looking at just how efficient some of this new lab equipment is in the laboratories of the various institutions. One of the major institutions is the Government Chemist Regulatory Authority, which regulates the use of chemicals in the country. Its responsibilities are many, but one is to make accurate analysis of samples to safeguard the environment and health of the people. By the authority invested in us by the government, we are part of this project's steering committee, with me as a representative of this institution. Our laboratory handles samples taken from the environment. We analyze samples with the aim of safeguarding the well-being of humans and the environment. We receive many samples like water, both clean water and sewage. soil samples, vegetables, and any other sample from the environment. We receive samples to do analysis and measure their quality to give answers which concerned institutions can use with the aim of safeguarding the health of people and the environment. The equipment we have obtained through the Minimizing Mercury Use project in the country has helped us a lot because stakeholders typically want answers very quickly. Because of the ability of this equipment to rapidly analyze and give results, our customers have been very happy with this service. Instead of taking 3 days, we now take a day, and instead of doing just one sample, we can do multiple samples and so handle more than one customer at a go. Cost-wise, we can look up to 90 samples at a go belonging to 10 or 20 customers, depending on the number of samples they brought. Amongst the customers are large-scale mines, which export large quantities of minerals, enabling us to help the government get revenue in a timely manner. One of the equipment we used is this to my left. This is part of the lab infrastructure that enables us to do our work safely. It's known as the safety cabinet. Its purpose is to give the person working in the lab to do so safely by sucking out toxic fumes and particles on the sample he's working on.
Thanks, Irene. I also need to mention that thanks to Irene, Tajiri, and the team, during the week we've had over 50, 60 posts in social media. Really thank you for your support. Thanks again. Let's now go to Ghana, Sam from Ghana, to tell us about his work.
Thank you very much, Madge. Okay, so I don't do too well when the audience is wearing a very stern disposition. If you can smile a little, it will help me. Okay, that's good. So Maggie, when she was introducing us, indicated that comms play a key role in the work that we do. If you look at the project itself, the challenges that the intervention seek to address are largely behavioral, and the best way to address these behavior changes is through communications. That said, the Ghana project is two-pronged. There is the mercury component, and then there is the e-waste component. And for both components, there are strategies that have been developed for both components. So I will start with the mercury project, and I'm glad that this picture is in the background because there's a unique story about this picture. An analysis of the stakeholder classifications that was done when the strategy was being developed revealed that one of the pilot districts that we work in as a project, women wield some significant level of influence over the men when it comes to trade decisions. And so what the comms team decided to do was that to target the women so that we can get to the men, to modify their behaviors towards how they use mercury, and also to transition to mercury-free technologies. And so messages were targeted at the women, products designed to target the women. And when we go to the field and we are engaging them, their engagement strategies are somewhat different from the larger group engagement strategies. And the results are significant. If you check with the EPA office up north, there is a certain clamor now by the miners for the mercury-free technologies. And last week, we were there for an awareness program. And during the interactions, we discovered that now they don't burn the amalgam in their residences or closer to the communities like they do before. They do it far away from their communities. That is not the best, but at least that is a start. And that was achieved through our communication engagement and activities using the women. Now on e-waste, there are a couple of things that for you to change behavior, you must do. People must first know what e-waste is, why they need to separate it, how they need to separate it, and when they separate it, where does it go and what happens to it. And to address these challenges, the comms team also developed some products. So we have IEC materials. IEC, it's information, education, and communication materials. We have some audiovisuals. We have some TVCs. We are also big on social media. And through these programs that the comms team plus the project team itself implemented, there has been some shift towards handling of e-waste in a much better way. When the coordinator spoke yesterday, he said that we are inundated with e-waste. People are now aware that they need to send it to collection centers. They don't need to give it to scavengers. They don't need to burn it themselves. And I will let us watch one of those videos that we have produced as a project for.
Hello, households and private and public institutions. Let's talk about the waste we create at home and at our various workplaces. Did you know we need to learn how to separate organic, plastic, and electronic waste? For example, these things might look harmless, but they are not like our ordinary rubbish. They contain chemicals and metals that can harm our environment and health if we throw them away with regular household waste. When we mix e-waste with organic and plastic waste, it can poison our land and water and even make us sick. But we can change this story. It's as simple as having a separate bin for our e-waste, organic waste, and plastic waste. But what happens to our e-waste after we segregate it? Meet the GH Waste app. It's easy to download, quick to install, and simple to use. Just select your e-waste items, provide instructions, and confirm your pickup. Track your pickup in real time and know exactly when our driver will arrive. With the GH Waste app, disposing of e-waste has never been easier or safer. Once segregated, your e-waste is handled safely and responsibly. Receive instant receipts and help us improve our service. The GH Waste app. Simplifying e-waste management for a healthier environment. Together, we can make a difference. Starting right here at home or at work. Segregate your e-waste today and build a healthier Ghana for all. Download the GH Waste app now on Google Play Store or iOS.
Thank you so much. And the video is under 2 minutes, so we can use it on social media, share it on WhatsApp. Excellent work. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Now let's go to Kenya with Evans.
One, two, microphone testing. Hello? Jambo, everyone. How are you? In Kenya, we say, how are you, Ning? Yes, the Kenyan story is very simple. What is this? Okay, it is it's gone play maybe. Yes. Yeah, for the Kenyan story, I want to give it in form of a template where we worked with this program that has gone so far. And the first one was the inaugural African E-Waste Conference in Mombasa. This was very key, especially in areas that we managed to acquire several things that which were not there in the first place. Remember, e-waste was a very great issue in Kenya. It's been a great deal. And so the first one ever was in Mombasa, where from the pictures you can see, captured by our former CES, Tuya, for environment. She graced our occasion, and it was very key because, for one, we needed to create awareness. And this particular awareness needed, for one, to modify our behavior. So when we started having, from communication perspective, that when we included the higher authority, we managed to make sure that this behavior change starts from up there all the way to our down to the household level. So that's what we captured for communication strategy. And we made sure that we have also called in media timely. And for this media, we're able to build and develop data for this particular media who could particularly report on environmental matters. And for that particular moment, we engaged the media in a high level for interviews, and some of them later on, as you can see, they went on even to have it in their TV stations, they had in their radio stations, they had in their print media, they had them even on their online platform. And so indeed, that was a case that was very successful in that particular inaugural meeting by the program, this particular program. And even later on, we managed to engage the media to take them to the dam site, where now they could be able to know how there was a challenge even to segregate this particular normal solid waste from this other e-waste and all that. And so that was a challenge that was seen in that particular moment. And so these are kind of our partners. We partner with the We Center, and this is the very particular engagement that we are talking about. Then this is for Kenya. I can consider it as a project, and it's a game changer. And for this particular project, where we are having this land for this particular project, we have a land, we have acquired a land. And for this particular moment, we have engaged ourselves, we have negotiated land, about 2 acres, and those particular parcel of land, we have managed to do publicity. And in this particular area, we'll be doing a lot of documentaries, able to get partners, and are able to see that we get maximum drafting of messages. And on these particular messages, what do? We're able to tell all our stakeholders about this particular place, what we needed to do. Like, for example, in the MRF's facility that will be coming up, there'll be issues to do with the design, the issues to do with the flow of all that processes. And because of that, they'll be able to get a lot of publicity in that. So these particular images are showing the key which you have already obtained for the land. We have the title deed for the land, and so we'll have private sector coming on board and be able to see that we get these collection centers come to this particular place. And this is, we plan by 2025 beginning, we should have this one established. And then this one is to do with our partnership with this very particular key stakeholders. And this particular stakeholders, sorry, I think my slides are, I don't know, okay. Yes. Hello, are you still there? Can I go? Okay, I've explained about that. I've also explained about that. Okay, I've also explained that, MRF. Okay. And then we have that, I've also explained that. And then I was on this partnership, okay? And on this particular partnership, I'm targeting key private sectors. We have Samsung, which is the leading telephone provider in Kenya with almost 47 million subscribers. And in this particular place, when we capture them, having particular drafted messages to them, these messages on e-waste will reach out to almost everyone who has a phone on Safaricom platform. And those messages will be able to guide them on what is needed, especially when you come up with collection centers. They will tell you the hazardous issues to do with hazardous moment, where if you use this, they'll be able to give you areas on where to pick or collect your particular utilities that you are having. And then we are also having this particular, they have SMS, they also have a voice. And those ones we're able to capitalize and leverage on the, on the already existing platform that we have. And then for Samsung, this is the global leader in manufacturing of these particular products, electronic products. And for them, it's very key because they are almost in every household. So once they connect with Safaricom, they connect with Samsung, they're able to link together every Kenyan able to get this particular service with them. Lastly, because my slide is misbehaving, thanks media, thanks for encouraging me. Yes, the last one is on particular campaign. And this particular campaign we are having is to do with coming up with a particular bin that is meant, yes, that one. So this one, once we liaise with the existing media, we have radio, we have television, we have social media, we have all that. And with this one, giving them campaign, and especially with our radio, where we have various vernacular languages, we'll be able to tell everyone that remember, E-West, the bin for E-West is red. And anything, so it's very important when it comes to, say, from the household level, you want to collect your waste, you are able to distinguish and say for red, because the bins are there, the color codes are there. For red, it means E-West. And so because of that, we can be able to do that, and then later on, take to the collection center at the Concert City. And with that, we are sure, with awareness in the public, having the road shows, having barazas, public barazas, and having every media focusing on this, will have changed our behavior accordingly as we do environmental and health pollution management in the Republic of Kenya. Thank you, Maji.
Thanks, we really appreciate it. Thanks for the contribution, and also thanks for highlighting the role of radio. J'aimerais aller au Sénégal. Monsieur C from Senegal was telling me, Maji, your presentation, are you sure you can say it in 3 languages? Yes, this is my second one. We'll go to French now. Mariam, Habib, je vous invite au plateau pour nous parler du travail que vous faites au Sénégal avec la radio. La radio est super importante parce qu'elle vous permet de simplifier le discours, elle vous permet de parler directement aux communautés, et c'est vraiment un superbe outil pour que les communautés comprennent ce qu'on fait, mais s'approprient aussi le projet. Merci Mariam et Dr Habib. Merci à vous.
Merci beaucoup Madigen. Au moins on va parler français et ça fait plaisir. Merci beaucoup, merci tout le monde. Bonsoir à tout le monde. C'est toujours un immense plaisir aussi de pouvoir partager avec vous nos expériences par rapport à la radio. Donc ce qui est important par rapport, I'm very short, that's why. Ce qui est important par rapport à la radio, c'est que dans tous les pays, on a essayé de sensibiliser par rapport à une communication sociale. Mais au-delà de cette communication sociale, on s'est dit pourquoi ne pas créer une radio, notre propre radio qui s'appelle Vivre avec nos déchets. Cette radio nous permet de sensibiliser le maximum de population et aussi les pousser à changer de comportement. Parce qu'on sait pour la plupart du temps, les gens font beaucoup d'erreurs par rapport même au jet de ces déchets. Pourquoi cela? Parce qu'ils ne sont pas conscients des problèmes que cela peut leur provoquer. Ils ne sont pas conscients aussi. Cela aussi est dû à beaucoup d'habitudes dont les populations sont confrontées. Mais au-delà de ça, on s'est dit, on crée cette radio. Au-delà de la sensibilisation, on essaie aussi de les pousser à aller vers la valorisation. La radio, ça s'appelle Dundu ak suñu mbalit en langue wolof, ça s'appelle Vivre avec nos déchets. Pourquoi il est important de vivre avec nos déchets? On ne peut pas tout le temps se départir de nos déchets. On a produit tellement des tonnes et des tonnes, des centaines de millions de tonnes. Donc, il faut essayer de vivre avec nos déchets. Vivre avec nos déchets, on a essayé de réaliser 16 émissions au Sénégal. Parmi ces 16 émissions, on a eu à faire beaucoup de thématiques. On a fait sur l'importance des POPNI sur la santé environnementale. On a fait aussi l'importance des POPNI sur l'impact du POPNI sur le lait maternel. On a aussi fait sur la valorisation des déchets. On a fait sur les lacs de Maris, qui sont les zones d'intervention. Parce qu'au Sénégal, on a 2 interventions, c'est Dalifort-Forail et aussi Anne-Belair. Donc, on a essayé aussi de faire ces émissions avec les communautés, d'où l'interactivité de la communauté, de ces émissions. Pourquoi c'est important de faire cette interactivité? On a aussi fait un partenariat avec la Radio nationale du Sénégal, qui est RSI. Pourquoi le lien avec la Radio nationale du Sénégal? Parce que ça nous permet de couvrir tout le pays. La Radio du Sénégal, RSI, couvre tout le pays, donc tous les quartiers, tous les villages du Sénégal, même les populations qui sont au plus fin fond du quartier du Sénégal peuvent même avoir cette radio, écouter et aussi essayer de changer des comportements. Parce que quand on parle des zones d'intervention de ce projet, c'est Dalifort-Forail et Anne-Belair. Mais c'est une problématique que vivent toutes les populations du Sénégal. Maintenant, est-ce qu'il faut se limiter seulement à ces zones d'intervention qui sont des zones pilotes? Non, on s'est dit non. On va essayer au-delà de cela, sensibiliser d'autres populations à travers la radio. Maintenant, ce qui est important aussi par rapport à la mise en place ou l'implantation de cette radio, c'est que ça nous a permis aussi de faire des émissions, des shows au niveau des communautés. On ne s'est pas seulement limité à la radio, on s'est dit oui, c'est vrai qu'il est tellement important de faire ces émissions au niveau de la radio, mais il faut aller aussi vers ces communautés. Essayer aussi de recueillir leurs interventions, leurs questions, quelles sont leurs préoccupations. Parce qu'on a constaté que dès qu'on a démarré ces émissions avec les communautés, c'est beaucoup plus interactif et aussi ça évite les conflits. Parce que pour la plupart du temps, ce sont des gens qui ne sont même pas au courant du projet. Maintenant, si la radio vient vers eux, la sensibilisation est beaucoup plus large. Et dans chaque show aussi, il y a une particularité, il y a une spécificité. On invite aussi les membres du projet. Parce qu'à chaque fois aussi, ces membres du projet identifie les communautés, édifie les communautés aussi sur des questions centrales dont les communautés voudraient aussi avoir des réponses exactes. C'est vrai qu'on est dans le projet exactement, on connaît tellement de choses dans le projet que des fois même, on se dit, nous, on n'est même pas spécialistes des US ou des Sud-Ouest. Mais aussi, tout cela, on a eu ces connaissances grâce aussi à une bonne collaboration avec la coordination du projet. Je veux nommer M. Alassane Ngom, qui est tout le temps là, qui nous accompagne par rapport à ces questions spécifiques, qui nous édifie aussi sur ces questions. Parce que l'interactivité avec la communauté permet aussi d'éviter des problèmes. On a vu qu'il y a une commission de gestion des plaintes. Mais pour la plupart du temps, dans ces quartiers pilotes, on n'a même pas besoin de ça. On se limite seulement à avoir ces émissions. Les questions interactives, les communautés sont en direct avec les responsables du projet. Et cela aussi permet d'améliorer. Mais il y a une partie spécifique aussi par rapport à la santé. On s'est dit dans chaque émission, on intervient aussi dans la partie santé, d'où Dr Habib s'en occupe, parce qu'à chaque fois, on sensibilise aussi les communautés sur comment faire aussi pour gérer leur santé et comment faire aussi pour éviter les POP ni les polluants organiques persistants non intentionnels. Et pour les éviter, il y a des impacts aussi sur la santé environnementale que Dr Habib aussi nous montre tout le temps à travers ses émissions. Je vous donne la parole, Dr Habib.
Merci, Mariam. I'll take this opportunity to practice my English, and the next session is in Senegal, so I'll wait for you to practice your French as well. So hello everybody, my name is Habib Kenye. I work with Mariam at the radio show, and my job is to focus on convincing people on how to change their behavior about the way that they treat the trash. My training is in pharmacy, so I try to bring elements and arguments showing medical evidence that the way we treat trash can impact our health. So depending on the theme of the show, I'll try to explain where we can find these toxic products in our everyday life, how do these products can get in our system by inhalation or ingestion, etc. How do these contamination affect our health on the short and on the long term? And I try to finish by explaining how we can avoid this intoxication and better behaviors we can adopt. So we've been trying to do a great show, and we also have a YouTube channel where we put this show so people can comment, so we can have a good feedback. The biggest challenges we've been facing are illiteracy, because some people have this, try to copy sometimes bad behaviors, and they don't really check the veracity of the information they've been given. Other cultural habits like churai, it's an incense that we burn, and people sometimes inhale it all day or all night. And lightning creams that are sometimes contain chemical products that can be dangerous as well. So one of the biggest challenges though is the misuse of plastic that we use sometimes in our cooking, or that we buy food, very hot food or drinks that we put in our food. So thank you for everything. Looking forward to seeing you in Senegal, and have a good day and a good weekend. Thank you.
Dr. Habib, thanks also to Mr. Ngom. Sometimes it's hard for me to convince PIU to start a radio, and Mr. Ngom has been really generous and very receptive and accepted to test the radio, and now it has really become a central tool to the communication strategy. And now we'll go to Zambia. Merci, Zulu, who's going to tell us about her work in Zambia.
Next time you up.
Good afternoon, everyone. Energy levels are really down. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you. Asante sana. Merci beaucoup. That's not the Messi which is in my name. It means something totally different. The good thing about being the last person to present is that your colleagues would have said most of the things that we are all doing, especially that in Margie's presentation, she did highlight that we have a kind of harmonized work plan that we are using. Thank you. Which makes some of the activities that we are undertaking similar from one country to the other.
Next
So
time you
notice
upgrade
that
your phone,
what we're
laptop,
doing in
TV,
Zambia is
or
a little similar to what, for example, Ghana is doing, and what Kenya is also doing around electronic waste, which is the focus of the project in the country. Before you can look at the video, I just want to bring reality to this situation of electronic waste. Back home, we are grappling with energy, and I think you may have listened to Ernesto's presentation on day one, and he hinted on that one. Yes, it is a reality. You may have come across this information. It's all over the internet. And so that has obviously contributed to the influx of electronic devices that people are using in homes, in offices, and everywhere else. And what that means is that because there's more use of easy and portable devices like phones, obviously also...
Excuse me, Miss Mercy. Ladies and gentlemen, may I please give her our full attention? Thank you very much.
Thanks. So there's obviously a lot of electronic waste going out there because the rate at which phones are being used, for example, is increasing. But for us, that is a platform that we are thinking of using more, because not everybody can own a solar system for them to watch TV, to tune to radio. So if they are on the phone, we are following them on the phone. So you'll notice that the video that we're going to show is very short, because that's meant for platforms such as a mobile phone via WhatsApp, but also via platforms like YouTube, Facebook, and all other social platforms. So please enjoy the short video.
Next time you upgrade your phone, laptop, TV, or microwave, ask yourself how the environment feels when you dump old gadgets. Electronic waste is real and harmful. Visit www.zema.org.zm to learn more.
Zema, regulating electronic waste in Zambia.
So, as short as that, that's how we are telling different stories through different platforms to try and emphasize that each one of us has a responsibility in taking care of the environment. I'm sure most of those electronic devices and appliances that we saw there, each one of us in this room is using one of those, if not all of them. So take-home message is when you go out there, please let's spread the message. We need to be more responsible. We can sit in here 4 or 5 days and talk about this, but it narrows down to an individual, a family, a community, and the nation as a whole. I wish you all the best as you go back.
Thanks, merci. We've heard from all the countries. There is, in addition to the team, I've invited my colleague Vera Rosawa, who is the communications lead for the World Bank. She's based in Kenya, and she oversees all the work we do in COMS on this regional project. I thought it was important for me to invite her, first to train us on communication, and also make you understand that there is a full circle. You work in country, but you also connect you to the world by working with Vera and her team and the World Bank communication team in Washington, so that your best practices, your lessons learned, have not only a regional perspective, but are seen across the world. Thanks, Vera, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
So good afternoon, everyone. I need a little bit more energy. You have to make up for my lack of size. So good afternoon, everyone. That's more like it. Thank you very, very much. I have the misfortune of standing between you and your dinner or your departure. I promise I will try to minimize your pain. So first thing, I have no PowerPoint. I think you've had enough of that. But I am here for a very important reason. I came to help train the PIU communication focal points on the key elements of a communication strategy. Why am I saying this? Because when you go back home, please sit them down and ask them what they learned here on Saturday and Sunday, and if they can't tell you, take their per diem back. So there were 4 elements that we focused on. 1, we reviewed their communication strategies, so I hope that when they go back home, they can present those to you so that you are aligned in terms of expectations and deliverables, right? 2, they can talk to you about the kind of resourcing that they are going to need to support them in implementing their communication strategy. We talked about stakeholder engagement, the need for mapping, the need for having clear messaging to reach the different stakeholder groups, and also how to create a stakeholder matrix which outlines the power versus the influence. We talked about storytelling. So they should be able to produce better videos, short and sweet, like some of the ones that we saw here. Our attention span collectively as humans have really decreased. I think now it's at about 8 seconds, around that of a goldfish. So 2 minutes is a lot to ask of anybody these days. So no more 10-minute documentaries or 15-minute documentaries. It has to be TikTokable. Okay? But the key thing I'm trying to say here is that communication is a critical component of this program, particularly if you expect meaningful behavior change around mercury and e-waste. Yet, I have encountered projects where not this program, but the other countries and regional projects that I support, where the communications teams are never invited to technical meetings. They have no assigned budget or resources, yet they are expected to fix things when they go wrong and to make the project look good, particularly when you have an Instagrammable moment, a photo moment, or an event. And what I always say to my team is, I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a miracle worker. So you cannot expect your communications people to do the impossible without support and resources. Why? In all the 90 plus projects and programs that I support, community and stakeholder ownership has never been achieved without effective communication. Even if you work with the environmental and social safeguards team, there is a critical communication component to each stakeholder engagement plan for a project. So whether you're moving a community to build a dam in Kenya or improving health outcomes in Somalia for training female health workers, you need clear messaging, mapping of your stakeholders, outlining engagement strategies. But you also need to be clear about which particular behavior you want to change and the messages and best channels to use for that. You also need storytelling to illustrate impact and results, and the use of social or traditional media platforms to amplify your success. So having a robust, iterative communication strategy is critical for this. As I said, we reviewed this over the weekend, so your communication officers should be well equipped to support you from this perspective. But they will need your help to strengthen the strategies, to involve them in your meetings so that they know what's going on. And that way they can advise you on messaging, engagement, managing reputational risk issues, developing a grievance redress mechanism along with your environmental and social safeguards teams. But discuss, please, please, if there's any message you take out of here, if you work for the program or project implementation unit, is the need to discuss resources that are available to deliver the communication work. I know we always have a wish list. I always have a wish list, but I always say the country director always cuts me down to size because we have to sit down and see what we have and what is actually important. So we prioritize and we make sure we have the resources to deliver against what it is that we've agreed upon. So I encourage the communication officers, as we discussed over the weekend, exercise prudence in terms of outlining what it is that you want to do, and ask for resources to support you. There are other things you can always roll over to the next year. But I always challenge you, and I did challenge you over the weekend by saying that you'll only get more if you deliver impact. So please do not ask for money, and we cannot see the impact that you're bringing to the project. And finally, hold your communication officer or focal point accountable. They need to report to you and to the entire program on what support that they provided. So it's very good to have a strategy. It's even more exciting to ask for all the money, but you need to be able to demonstrate impact with the money that you get. So to borrow from our moderator today, keep them plugged in, provide resources, and hold them accountable. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks to all. Thanks, Vera, for coming, for flying in to support. Do we have any questions in the room? Thanks for your time and for listening to us. Do we have any questions for any of us?
Thank you for the very good presentations and enlightening. Mine might not really be a question per se to you, but you can speak to it. The aspect of what we're calling public participation and stakeholder engagement, what forms adequate public participation? Because in most jurisdictions, we don't have a quote-unquote guideline or a policy that speaks to adequacy of the certain aspects of public participation. as much as we know the various principles of public participation components. So what can you be able to advise in terms of where there is no clear law in terms of what can satisfy to be a proper public participation engagement process, yet you want to ensure that your communication together with whatever you are collecting, the data or the information you are passing around, is well received, and we also don't have, quote unquote again, the community gatekeepers to be able to mess around the information that we want. Thank you. This is Regan Awino from Kenya.
Could you please put on your mic?
Oui, merci, Madjigué. Bon, ce n'est pas une question, c'est une contribution. Moi, je voudrais me féliciter de la prise en compte de la composante communication dans le cadre de ce projet. Bon, nous avons tendance à perdre de vue l'importance de la communication dans la mise en œuvre des projets de manière générale en Afrique ou bien particulièrement au Sénégal. Mais nous avons constaté que la Banque mondiale, pour parler d'elle, est bien consciente des enjeux du point de vue de la communication par rapport à la mise en œuvre des projets. Donc je me félicite de cela et je voudrais suggérer, parce qu'il y a beaucoup de projets qui sont financés dans notre pays par les bailleurs de fonds, souvent par le même bailleur de fonds, et il y a toujours un volet ou bien une composante communication. De ce point de vue, moi je voudrais suggérer que les spécialistes, les experts dans cette composante puissent travailler ensemble pour pouvoir mutualiser. C'est extrêmement important qu'ils ne travaillent pas séparément ou bien en vase clos, mais quand même qu'ils mutualisent pour pouvoir parvenir à des résultats beaucoup plus efficaces, mais également pour pouvoir innover. C'est extrêmement important, c'est ce que je voulais dire. Merci.
Excellent, excellent. Merci, Monsieur Si. Merci encore. Je pense que dans ce projet, comme je l'ai dit au début, le fait de venir plus tôt nous a permis de mieux travailler sur l'harmonisation de notre travail et de notre message. En plus de ça, j'ai oublié de le mentionner, chaque 2 semaines, toute l'équipe communication se retrouve pour dire qu'est-ce qui s'est passé pendant ces 2 semaines, de quoi j'ai besoin, quels ont été mes problèmes, comment vous pouvez m'aider. Donc, on a déjà inclus dans le travail une plateforme, mais ça va au-delà de ce projet. Donc, sur tous les projets au moins sur lesquels je travaille,